Making fast-paced videos is beneficial for a few different reasons. We're going to cover the editing as well as some of the shooting techniques, because at the end of the day we want people to be watching our videos for as long as we possibly can keep their attention. So we've made it to the town that we're going to be staying in. I'm on like a little solo camping trip, just cruising around, going to get up to some really fun adventures. We need to find out a place that we are going to sleep tonight. I have a couple of ideas, but before we get to that, we have some really fun things that we're going to get up to. I found the spot that I was looking for, or a spot that will work at least. Looks super crazy. There's all these roads around. We've got some epic mountains in the background and the ocean right here. The first thing when it comes to making your videos nice and fast is to not babble on too much. It's easy to get carried away and just speak about something forever, whether you're just telling them what you're doing or even something like this where I'm giving you guys a tip. It's important to just be concise, to the point, and that's it, done. You see, the whole thing is that keeping your videos super fast paced is a way of keeping the viewer's attention without having something that's like being drawn on. If you can keep their attention for longer, it means your videos get a higher audience retention and the viewer is going to stick around and watch more of it, which is exactly what we want, because we don't want them to click on our video, get bored, and then click off of it. The mind of the viewer is actually really good at putting things together, and if you give them just a brief kind of rundown on what's going on, they can piece the rest of the storyline together themselves. They don't need an explanation for every single little thing. Today's video is sponsored by Track Club. They are a music licensing platform with some really unique features, and when you guys are trying to make fast-paced videos, having the right music is going to be a huge pro when it comes to the editing side. But we're going to talk about them a little bit more later. Something else really important is trying to introduce multiple storylines into your video at the same time. So just because it's about one main topic, you can have kind of side stories that just keep it a little bit more interesting, because now the viewer has multiple different things to focus on instead of just that one main like story that you guys are following. It is good to have a main story, but having side stories is really important as well. Oh, that is so fun. The next thing that I wanted to say to you guys is that when you want to have fast-paced edits, you're obviously going to have a lot more cuts, which means you need to get a lot more clips because you're going to use them up really fast, and you definitely don't want to repeat clips because that's going to destroy the whole effect of having like a really fast-paced cut. So get lots of clips, more than you need. Little clips of that, little clips of that, like with the bike scene, taking it out of the car and then riding around. That took me really long in reality, even though it was just a very short little edit for you guys. I've been cruising around like getting shots of taking it out of the back of the van and everything for probably close to an hour. Leave out all of the fillers that you think you might need. I see way too often that when people are making videos, they go, we're gonna do this next, we're gonna do that next, now we're gonna do this. You don't need to spell it out for the viewer. You can maybe just show a few clips of it actually happening and rather show them than telling them that thing. And they, again, are very good at putting together in their own minds what is actually going on. So avoid kind of just like overly explaining. It gets very boring. And the other thing about that is that you already know what is going to be happening in the next clip before you've even seen it, because the person telling the story has already told you what they're going to be doing. It takes literally all of the like mystery and intrigue out of the video that you're watching. So keep it fast. You don't need to explain everything. It's getting super windy, and I'm hoping it's not too windy because my next plan was to go fly the FPV at the abandoned buildings that we saw earlier, so hoping it doesn't get too crazy. We also still need to find a place to sleep, which we are going to do probably after this, but taking a little chill first. I just realized that I forgot to pack any bedding, pillows, blankets, none of that. I have a mattress. I guess I'm going to be sleeping on a couple of t-shirts and hoodies as pillows. What can I do? Not so bad, not complaining. Right now, instead of telling you guys what I'm gonna do next, because that's not a good idea, we're just gonna cut straight to the scene because it's gonna keep it way more interesting. Not my best flight. Probably actually one of my worst. Well, one of my worst flights. But whatever. It was nice to have the drone up in the air again. Editing is obviously like a huge part of making sure that your cuts are fast, because you're gonna make the edit fast when you're actually doing all of those cuts. Makes sense. So I think the first thing that you guys want to focus on is just cutting out any of the dead spots, whether that's ums and ahs in your speaking because you can't speak perfectly the whole time, or just any gaps where you're thinking about stuff. The other really important thing is to use music for your actual cuts. When you guys filmed all of those shots that we got, you made sure that you captured a lot more than you thought you need. You can use little music sections now to make really fast cuts of little like cinematic B-roll-y style stuff, whether it's transitioning between your different locations or just getting to another area or a different setting. You can use music to make sure that those are going to be fun and fast paced. That's where the sponsor of today's video comes in, and that is Track Club. Now, there's a whole bunch of really high quality music platforms these days, but there isn't really one that is anywhere similar to Track Club. Not only do they have super high quality music like all of the tracks that you guys have been hearing throughout this video, they have some really unique features that I've never seen before in any other music licensing platform. So one of the things that I really like that's unique to Track Club is you can click on this little arc in your filter settings, and you can also choose the kind of crescendos that you guys are wanting for the track. So you can have a build up, or you can have something that tapers off. You can have something that's just more consistent, or maybe it's a crescendo in the middle. This is hugely beneficial when you guys are cutting your edits and you want certain flows and styles to the cuts. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Track Club has something called Mix Lab. Never seen before, and this makes so much sense. You can select a track that you potentially want to use, and you can click on Mix Lab. It brings up all of these different stems for the entire track. You can select which ones you want to include as well as the ones you want to exclude, and you can even do things like changing the volume for each one of the things. Maybe you found the perfect track, but you're going to be talking in the video, so you want to take the vocals out. You can just slide that all the way down. Maybe there's a synth in the background that's too loud, or some drums. You can take that out completely. You can even change the BPM of the track that you guys are wanting to use to make it faster or slower to match the pacing of your videos. If you guys want to find out anything more about Track Club, they're going to be linked in the top of the description. They are really an amazing platform for anyone that's wanting music to use in your videos without having any worries about copyright claims. Go check them out. You can do some crazy things, and I definitely think this is the future of music licensing, so head on over there. Something else I really like to focus on when you guys are cutting footage is you don't need to cut your fast pockets of little edits exactly to the beat. It doesn't have to be like a 4/4 bar where it has like just on those main beats you can just cut a lot of really quick clips and then have a slow one and then cut them really quick again, and the brain comprehends a lot and you can still see what's going on. The final thing that I want to say about editing is that when you guys are done with your edit and you think it's cool, go back and watch it and try and envision yourself as watching it from someone else that is watching it for the first time. And if you find yourself kind of wanting to skip ahead in any of the certain parts, maybe like if it was on YouTube, you can just skip 5 seconds ahead. If you feel the urge to do that, just reanalyze that section that made you kind of feel that way and see what you could do to tweak it and make it a little bit faster. I like to think of it as not really having any clip on screen for more than around 5 seconds and then cut into something else. Obviously, if it's something talking like this where you need to explain something at a larger scale or more in depth, you can have that running over a little bit longer. I hope you guys found this useful. I hope you can see how I applied these tips and techniques into this very video that you guys are watching, and how I had those fast little pockets and it was very fast and keeps the audience retention up. Other than that, remember to check out Track Club if you guys want any music for any of your videos. They are an amazing platform and I think it's really interesting to see where they're going with it. See you guys in the next one. I'm gonna camp out here and sleep tonight with no pillows or blankets. Luckily it's warm. Yeah. See you guys later.